Okay, everything should be up and running. My immense apologies for the roughly 7 minutes worth of dead air there, pretty much. Just getting everything up and ready to go. And hopefully the levels are a lot better this time. Right, give me a second. I'm just going to go grab a thing. Hey, I imagine you're like total. I imagine you're playing the new update that just came out, right? I'm good to imagine. Yeah, is it any good? I don't. I'm not, like, obviously I don't play the game myself, so. It's good. You know, it's always good to have the game that you like, that and then I wish it was this, and then you get the thing you want. It's good when devs actually do that. Yeah. I'm just going to adjust where the mic is a little bit more. Yeah. That's better, probably. All right, let's get the large lad up. Just a smidge more. I'll check the orders later. Okay. So, to get a couple bookkeeping things out of the way now that I've dawdled enough, because, you know, my laptop has only got so much juice. Hopefully I'll be able to get through the rest of the Winds of the World today. Just so then I can kind of pump the brakes on posting on the Facebook group as much. The Concord LARP Facebook group, that is. And also kind of gives me a bit of distance to start then getting the next episode together, which will more than likely be a like new player kind of how to get into LARP sort of thing. I am going to attempt to get a guest for that one. Attempt being the optimum word. I'm not going to say who, but at the same time, you know, if you know, you know. No promises, but you know, one way or another, that would be the next episode. I'll try and get it out before the week of the coming 2022 summit, because that way, at the very least, you know, new players can get a little bit. Like, it's not going to be mechanic based too much. It's mainly just going to be sort of lore to look at, kind of leading up to game. Yeah, it's not going to be particularly extensive. I imagine it'll probably be a bit of a shorter one. And then beyond that, I believe it or not, have a schedule for different episodes and stuff I want to do. It's just do it. That's all. Get into it. I'm just going to check something real quick. Testing. Quick test. Yep. Cool. Come on. Cool. That. Just wanted to make sure that everything was working. Right, yeah. So I do have a bunch of different episodes in the pipeline. I do have a listed out what I'm basically going to do. And then hopefully these will be probably once a month ish, something like that. Yeah, I'll just kind of get through it slowly. There will be a point when new episodes will be very infrequent, because I will have at that point hopefully exhausted every topic. That is every topic that is on the wiki. I'll try and scrounge information, like in-game information on different things that we've learned. As in-game stuff, maybe we'll see. But baseline is covering the wiki, everything on the wiki. No idea what that was. And kind of going forward from there. It was a pair of Bluetooth headphones. That's all that was. And of course, they both fell out. Hang on. guarantee it's gone all the way to the back too. If anything.
This out the way quick. Just like that. You were wrong, right upside.
No, I was right.
Somebody in chat.
Right, thanks. Yep. I hate. Look, I'm allowed.
It's on the bench.
It's now on the bench. Let's see if I can fail this again. There we go. There we go. There we go. It's a crane game. It's just one big crane game. That's all it is. Yeah, exactly. It's still a crane game.
So,
Alright, with that out of the way. Yeah, so future episodes will slow down. Next big thing, I would highly recommend anyone that hasn't seen the Facebook post about it. There is going to be a group of people going over the Winds of the World. As the time of this stream will be going live tomorrow. I don't have the post in front of me, so I cannot tell you what time, but through the power of technology, I will quickly look it up. Let's see. Oh, come on. I have just been informed that it is possibly 7 PM, but I'm still going to grab the post. Hang on. Yep, Monday, 29th of August, 7 PM. Big group of people. So there's going to be 6 people all running through this. One of these was done in the past. This is partially what kind of inspired me to do this podcast, amongst other things. So yeah, please go watch that. It is going to be on the Facebook group itself. The video will also automatically be recorded and stored on Facebook as well. Go check it out. Whether it's live or not, doesn't matter. Check it out. Because, you know, support stuff. Hey! I believe that was a follower. Thank you. Got a couple of them actually, just kind of fired out of nowhere. Awesome. Thank you. Also, just to kind of say this as well, whether you're following or not, whether you're watching this live or watching the VOD later, or just liking the posts they throw up on Facebook, whatever, support is support. It doesn't matter how it's given. So that's, yeah. Any support is support. Don't worry about watching this or listening to this live. It's fine. Again, we for a very long time, the human race, at least in first world countries at the very least, we used to just watching recorded things. It's perfectly normal. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Right. Right now I'm wasting valuable battery power on my laptop. And I should have... Where is it? Wins. There it is. There it is. Alright, so, to go kind of crack into this as fast as possible, as a note, I will be going from the beginning of the green wheeled section, being the walk, where is it? A walk in the woods of the sickened sufferer. The war in Vasetal. Or, Vasetal. Look, it's German. Pronunciation is going to be a thing. Yeah, I'm going to be going through from this. Hopefully smashing through this as much as possible. For those watching, does this sound fine? Is my voice more clearly audible over the music? And or does it sound good? Do I need... would you prefer me I adjust some stuff? I can do that. Please, some info on that now would be great if you can. If you can't, I will assume it's fine, and I will get going. Balls. Sorry for bumping the mic there. Okay, level's good. Awesome. Thank you. Alright. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really hoping eventually when I get to covering the different lore sections on the wiki that I can do this stuff in accents and do some pre-recorded. But look, that's future me to worry about. That's not for present me to worry about. I'm dawdling. Ugh, let's get on with the doozy. Thankfully, we've kind of gotten over one of the big ones. Everything beyond this point is kind of, from memory, is kind of okay. Still not great, but like, you know, it's okay. Ultimately, I mean, Andash is kind of the big one, so yeah. All right, let's go and let's see if I can get back in the rhythm. All right. A walk in the woods of the sickened sufferer. The war in Vasetal. Vasetal, the land of rivers and willows, was the largest of all the baronies, split between thick oak forests in its highlands and league upon league of waterlogged marsh. It was the last barony to fall, succumbing to the Blassusrek that festered within it, rather than the Zerkatal. But for the first time in 8 years, Greenwheelers walk under the eaves of Vasetal, and they do so in lockstep with Bordovarian knights, the first banner of Bordovar and the Legion of the Black-Heart Bear, the Concord's two most powerful armies, marched out of the Concord in the first aggressive strike of the war. First aggressive strike of the war chamber. They would come to Vasetal, and they would slay the priest of the Plaguewood, the corrupted master of cults, the Baron of Boiling Blood. Again, the use of Baron there is interesting. The Baron of Boiling Blood, Thorn. The ever-elusive Thorn. Ugh. The townships and cities of Vasatal are abandoned, never co-opted by the Zergatal, or even looted. The predation predation of insects and scavengers are absent. Hasselbach remains much. Yeah, Hasselbach remains much as it was 8 years ago. That's gross. Oh, sorry, I missed a line. So after the line of, but for the first time in 8 years. Sorry, missed this. The Vasatal they would enter is a graveyard, ringed with silent arboreal sentinels at its height. The barony of Vasatal was divided with much of the population settled in the highlands, focused around the fall settlement of Hasselbach. Unster, Runhaven, and Fellhofen. Munster. Unster, Bramhaven, and Fellhofen. These islands of stable ground were places of rare stability in the marsh, and the Greenwheelers defended them doggedly from the creatures that crawled from the murk and descended from the trees. It was these settlements that the armies of the Concord had intended to make their home. From here, they could navigate the rivers and swamps in pursuit of Thorn and his cults of the Raging Wood, with hunts marshals and king's rangers leading the way. The Concord arrived at a site unexpected. And then it comes to the townships and cities, which I will reread. Right, the townships and cities of Vasatal are abandoned, never co-opted by the Zergatal, or even looted. Even the predation of insects and scavengers are absent. Hasselbach remains much as it was 8 years ago. Okay. Right, hang on. Hasselbach remains much as it was 8 years ago. Save for the corpses, thousands of them, in doorways, streets, homes, and churches, their blood congealed upon the timber and stone into its own flesh, forming wide marshes of human offal and rot between shops and taverns. The disease in Hasselbach was so advanced that it had seeped into the land itself. Timber crossbeams grow scabs like trees grow bark. Above it all, the great arkstone cathedral of the Iron Star weeped pus from its foundation like a spoiled wound. There are stages of Blasistrik beyond what the Concord knows, and it is worse than ever feared. The Concord would be forced to descend into the river valley. Forced to descend into the mud and river valleys, to seek out the Zergatal cults, for even they would not dare enter the ever-dying cities of Vasatal. The war would descend into the other half of Versatile. Its river valleys wide, marshes, and flowing waterways. For months, the Concordian armies would schlock through mud and mire in pursuit of lightly armed and armoured Zerkatal cultists. They were organised into covens of barely more than 50, each dedicated to some new scheme, new offering, or corruption. All fell to Bordavarian knights, smashing through wicker walls, or burnt in place by vengeful Ritters. The disordered Zerkatal forces began to flee north, but they were scattered, and none had seen the fury of the Concord on the horizon. Furthermore, the scrying tools laid during a recent conflux prevented any attempts of coordinated resistance by the cult of Thorn. Ambushes unable to plan their assaults proved easy prey. It was a group of Bordavarian King's Rangers that discovered the gathering of forces of Thorn on the banks of the southward flowing Eisen River. 2,000 scattered cultists of the Corruptor were assembling to launch an offensive into Risendahl's in an attempt to divide the Concordian forces between defending their homes and burning the Zerkatal out of theirs. The two armies of the Concord fell upon them while they were preparing their rafts and marched in unison, outnumbering them 5 to 1. The Zerkatal howled against the moon and threw themselves against the Concordian bulwark, only to be slain against Bordavarian steel and green-wheeled faith. Those that did not fight were drowned under steel-shod boots in the marshes of the Eisen River. The remainder of the campaign would be made up of sweeping the southern woods of Vassatile, seeking out the cultists trapped there by the swift Concordian advance and putting them to sword. Concordian forces came across Zerkatal settlements, collections of earthen hovels arranged around cult images of a twisted and corrupted man-like creature, carefully chosen orders of General Fisher and the banneret Sir Amelia Warden were prepared for such eventualities. Zerkatal civilians are given one warning: flee or die. And while many chose to flee, the forces of the Concord never asked a second time. At no point do Concordian forces report capturing the creature known as Thorn. But there is little surprise at that. Thorn was always a creature of whispers and schemes, and it is thought that it has escaped northwards. With the other fleeing Zerkatal. But what is known is that all of its forces are shattered and returned to the mud of Vassatile. From Hasselbach to the from Hasselbach south to the border with Wayland, the Concord can be confident, but the Zerkatal are repulsed. The civilians have fled northwards to cower in fear of a Concordian expansion northwards, for now the Legion of the Black-Heart Bear and the First Banner of Bordavar remain in camp some distance to the west of Hasselbach in a growing palisade known as the Nastal. For the first time since its founding, the Concord has worked together to acquire new territory from its foes, and whilst it is a darkened land ill with corruption, it is a land that once belonged to them. Should the Concord wish it, they could dedicate their forces to reclaiming the rest of Versatile, and seek out methods to heal it of its wounds. quick sip of water. To the south and east are the Nastal, a withered hand that had... Hand? Yep, a withered hand that had travelled far and seen much. Struck to the silent oak tree as it passed. This land was dying, and its people were dead, and its darkness deeper than any noble, failing, or shattered ambition. Just so hissed the wraith of Port Gargant. Just so. That's cool. Wraith of Port Gargant. That's terrifying. Cool. Yeah, Skittles. If you ever see this, good job on the creepy factor right there. That's yep. Whew. Yep. All right. Game information. In an incredible shift of strategy, the Concord has marched. The Concord has marched its two most powerful armies into Versatile and crushed Thorn's forces. And has crushed Thorn's forces in one campaign season. Thorn's armies. Thorn's army, singular, is struck down completely. And the Concord only loses 600 troops. Wow! Only Yo, real quick, Tim, if you're still dagging about, how big was the first banner in the Legion of the Black Heart Bear? I'm fairly certain I think the first banner is what, like, it's like 5,000, right? Something like that. Actually, if anyone like has it roughly off the top of the head for these, because like 600, just losing 600 out of what is probably thousands. Good. Oh my word. Good stuff. Characters who would have taken part in the campaign will tell stories of the difficult terrain and circumstances, marching through mud and marsh, struggling with heavy supplies and the constant vigilance against the Blesserstreck. They likely would have seen the application of Alasar's antidote. The common treatment for the early stages of the disease. The fight against the Zergotal was decisive, and if anything, it was harder to force the Zergotal into combat. Beyond that, it is likely that they took part in the clearing of Zergotal settlements by both steel and by intimidation. For now, the Concord has one hold in Versatile, requiring a full 3 to reclaim the territory. The remaining 2 hold is still controlled by the Zergotal, but no force currently remains to protect it. To protect them. The remaining holds, that is. However, a large army of the Onyx aristocracy led by Danakar Remortis. Mm. The Wraith of Port Gargant. It being Drummond feels, it feels possible. Sorry, to clarify. Yeah, so again, it's the Wraith of Port Gargant. If it's a Drummond thing, that's kind of interesting. Kind of implies some stuff. I might have to do some digging on that one. Okay, so fresh armies of 5,000. And if we had 2 of them, that's 10. I want to say the first banner, I think, was a little more powerful. It might have been 6,000. But hey, minimum of 10-ish, right? Let's just say minimum 10,000 in this specific campaign, and only losing 600 power in total is insane. And the fact that there's no force there to repel, at least at present, is also good. Having the Onyx aristocracy turn up is not great, but it is what it is. He's in the Steel Archipelago. Interesting. I might have to do a little bit of looking into that. 1 second. Interesting. Yeah, research might need to be done to that if the Wraith of Port Gargant is going to be a thing. Yeesh. Alright, so nevertheless, we shall proceed. Right, where was I? Right. There will be decisions for the Greenwheel and Bordavarian leadership in regards to this campaigning season. It is likely some spoils of war will be made available to the War Chamber. Greenwheel characters, particularly those whose family or personal history originates from Versatile, can choose to be affected by the current roleplay prompt. Thesetes? Oh, hang on. Oh, I see what's happened. The city, yeah, there, yeah, okay. The bloody thing was bugging out. Okay. The cities of our past are truly gone. Are truly lost in ways we never thought possible. More than ever, hang on. I'm going to try this again. Hang on. The cities of our past are truly lost in ways we never thought possible. More than ever before, it is essential that we protect what we have and spread our history as far as possible. I fear for the future, carried with the madness and the scars of the war in Resenda Halls. Oh, sorry. So this is the next section. Resenda Halls. Sorry. Yeah, carried with the madness and scars. War in Resenda Halls. The northern lands of Resenda Halls have become a battleground. Sokotal shamans, raiders, and slayers prowl the tree line, sweeping through outlying villages. The smaller hamlets stand no chance against the vicious predators of the coming tide. Many flee southward to safety. Others hold their ground and die for the choice. Many more are captured and are destined to become the living meals for Brother Ash's menagerie of monstrous beasts of war. Only the chaotic success and the chaotic success of Feed the Beast at the previous summit contained the Sokotal advance. Disrupting both Brother Ash's preparations and enlisting the Greenwheel itself. Oh yeah, enlisting the Greenwheel itself as an unpredictable ally. With the Legion of the Black-Hard Bear on the far side of the Eisen River, the people of Resenda Halls rally, preparing for a long summer fighting through the monster-infested Raven's Reach. Raven's Reach wilds that make up much of Resenda Halls' northern reaches. It would be a terrain that favours the Sokotal and would bolster their numbers, but at least the terrain is sparsely populated, saving the Greenwheel people from much of the predation of war. But Ash is no fool, and there is little time for the first of Eisen's outer cottages is a burnt shell. The circle of the broken moon draws its attention to Resenda Hall's northern settlement. Eager to put the military capital of Resenda Halls to under the torch. Skirmishes quickly escalate into roving battles in the outskirts, on the outskirts. Oh no, it is on the outskirts. As small militias and apprentice routers, I'm going to say routers, defend the people fleeing inside Eisen's simple walls. The third siege of Eisen has begun. Oh boy. Yep, I kind of forgot about this one. Yep, big ouch. Big ouch. Okay, power's holding. Brother Ash has moved... Sorry, game information. Let's just kind of make sure we get all this in one thing. Brother Ash has moved a large army of warriors, shamans, and war beasts into Risenderholz, striking particularly at the township of Eisen. Home to the Greenwield's College of War, and much of its military smiths and experts. There will be an opportunity to lead a conflux against Brother Ash this season during the Battle of Eisen. Because that doesn't sound awesome at all. Big jealous for all the Biff folks. Very big jealous as a non-com. Good stuff. All right. War and consequences. This is the next article. The war in Mukurem. For many, Nasafeza is a quaint township on the raggedy edge of the Concord, looking out on the strait between Mukurem and the Guardian. This quiet fishing town is more regularly rocked by agricultural disputes between the local cattle clans and the nascent city government. Sometimes earmarked for a trading port, sometimes earmarked for a trading port, sometimes ignored. Nasafesa holds its title of regional capital by default, and is rarely worth the attention of outsiders. But as 5,000 sellswords, quarter guards, and brigands march over the horizon, it becomes abundantly clear that someone else has taken notice. Trade Prince Majid del-Majid of the Twin Blade Confederacy, the Trade Prince of Corvarius, has taken umbrage with the Concord and has sent his personal forces under the command of Luis Alcorvarius Arfectar, personal warlord of the Trade Prince. The sun glitters off the Trade Prince's army as it marches south to sack and burn Nasafeza. Nomad scouts with keen eyes follow close behind and bring back reports of foreigners in layered steel armor among the leadership. Artabazani legionnaires, perhaps. Perhaps shock troops. Perhaps the true minds behind this invasion. It matters not. The lands of the Andashi are pressed on two fronts, but two foes. Oh, how the sun does smile upon its children. Game information. The Twin Blade Confederacy has launched an assault on Mukurem, targeting the northern settlement of Nasafeza. It appears that the Twin Blade intend to attack the township in particular, rather than moving to any other strategic objectives. Objective, singular. there will be a chance to oppose the trade prince's forces in a major conflux, the Battle of Nasafeza, during the Summer Summit. That was relatively short. Not good, but short. And I'm sure everyone will agree. For those that have an idea or, examining this, probably an implication of other stuff, it's probably not great, but that's the Concord. It's Concord for you. As a note, I'd recommend, if you have the ability to, I should have said this at the top as well, that's my fault, is make sure you read through all this yourself if you can, or go through it, all of it yourself if you can. Form your own opinions first. Mob mentality sucks. I had been a part of mob mentality at one point. Luckily, it was a very, very small thing, and it wasn't with Concord specifically. This is ages ago. I'm not happy with it. I'm not okay about it. I've gotten over it and learnt. Don't try not to give into. Don't give into mob mentality if you can help it. Form your own opinion as players, at the very least. Form your own opinions. If you can. Very important. A moment. Hopefully the thing bloody stream hasn't died off. Quick test. Yep, sounds fun. Okay. Cool, just wanted to make sure everything was still working. Yeah, and let me know if anything starts getting weird on the stream, like things start bugging out or whatever. Alright. Long live the shark. The war in the Rhone-Mer. Next article. The Firenze River runs down from the L'Arcades mountains, but split the lands of the Andassi from those of the Rhone-Mer. From those of the Rhone-Mer. A cool and fast-flowing river of the Firenze has a habit of mellowing out into slower lakes before picking up again into fast-moving rapids before pouring out into the Bay of Promised Gold. It is these fine surroundings that drew the aristocracy of the Rhone-Mer to build fine summer manors, almost said villas, on the riverfront, and it is these manors that became the frontline impromptu redoubts against the Elsevier invasion from Mancant Terra. Mention Terra? Whatever. But the shark's attack on the previous year, through previously unknown paths in the L'Arcades mountains, have divided the few remaining defensive forces. While it did leave the previous shark dead and buried upon the ground of Navarra, it created another defensive front for the Rhone-Mer civil defenders. Now that summer threatens to return, so does the shark. Pushing across the Firenze in a swift amphibian assault, Shark and its forces have been seen pushing aside what defenders are present among the abandoned manors and moving on to the plains the plains southwest of the City of Legends. The Elsevier camps are fortified and formed up in orderly rows, protecting siege engines. It is clear the shark means to conquer the Rhone-Mer, not simply raid it. Game information. The shark has invaded Lorona Mere from the west, threatening great naval power with a land invasion. Thankfully, this time, the small township of Navarra is not its target, but its force is certainly something that poses a serious concern to the realm and to the Concord. Okay, we got through those. We're on to the Concordian Civil Service report. Time for the math. Where's my math crew at? Where's math friends? All right, let's crack on with the math. Concordian Civil Service report. Titles. Candidates. Candidates and election terms. So these are the titles going up for election and how long they will serve at the coming summer summit. Champion of the Valley. Any Valley folk. Saturday evening by Relmic tradition. To serve for 6 months or 1 summit. Champion of the King. Any Bordavarian. Saturday evening by Relmic tradition. 6 months or 1 summit serving. Champion of the Baronies. Any Green Wielder. Saturday evening by Relmic tradition. 6 months or 1 summit serving. Champion of the Andashi. Saturday evening to serve. Could be any. Valid candidates, any Andashi. To be decided by Relmic tradition. To be done on Saturday night, serving for 6 months, 1 summit. Deed to the Eisen Orchard. Any Concordian citizen. Saturday evening by auction. To be held for 1 year, 2 summits. Deed to the Rumworld Vastness. It to be held by any Valley folk, decided on Saturday evening and done by Relmic tradition, and will be held for 1 year, 2 summits. Deed to Appoligys Folly. Can be attempted to taken by any Concordian citizen on Sunday evening, to be decided by auction and held for 1 year, 2 summits. High Priest of Panoply. Any priest of Panoply. Sunday morning by decision of the church. To be held for 1 year or 2 summits. High Priest of Lumos. Any priest of Lumos. Sunday to be decided on Sunday morning, decided by the church. To be held for 1 year or 2 summits. High Priest of Anarch. Any priest of Anarch who was not the previous High Priest. Be decided on Sunday morning by the church and held for 1 year or 2 summits. Ambassador to the Dendan Nations could be held by any Concordian citizen. Should be decided Saturday evening by Senate vote and held for 6 months, 1 summit. High Historian can be held by any Concordian citizen. Will be decided on Saturday evening by Senate vote and shall be held for 6 months or 1 summit. General of the Valley's Own. Any Valley folk can hold it. Will be decided by Relmic tradition and held for 1 year or 2 summits. It will be decided on Saturday evening. General of the Legion of the Black Heart Bear. Can be held by any Green Wielder. Decided on Saturday evening and will be done by Romic tradition and held for 1 year or 2 summits. Banneret of the First Banner will be held, or can be held, by any Bordavarian noble, very specific Bordavarian noble, will be decided on Saturday evening and done by Romic tradition and held for 1 year, 2 summits. Brigadier of the Bordavarian Ironhides can be held by any Bordavarian common folk. Will be decided on Saturday evening and done by Romic tradition and will be held for 1 year, 2 summits. Admiral of the 2nd Ronomere Fleet will be held by any Ronomerian citizen and will be decided on Saturday evening, done by Romic tradition and held for 6 months, 1 summit. Duke of Heartsgrave can be held by any Bordavarian noble, will be decided on Sunday evening, and will be done by Realmic tradition, and will be held for 2 years, 4 summits. Sheriff of Wayland can be held by any Bordavarian common folk, will be decided, and it will be decided on Sunday evening, will be done by Realmic tradition, and will be held for 1 year, 2 summits. Headmaster of the Andashi School of Gifts can be held by any Andashi mage, specifically Andashi mage, will be decided on Saturday evening and will be done by Shard Circle vote and will be held for 1 year, 2 summits. Okay, so that wasn't the math section. The Concordian Treasury Report is the math section. Sorry, so Concord LARP, what part of the war stuff do I think is most important? Yeah, if people only had a little bit of time to read it, honestly, I think it's a toss-up between the war in Andash, the Tribelands War, or it's the oh, that's a toss. So, okay, so I kind of just want to say the Tribelands War. Like, that seems the most serious. Obviously, the Versatile section is just a good read. But if it's like, what's big bickies, what's the big ish? I'd probably say Tribelands War. That seems the biggest deal, the biggest issue, biggest problem. Probably where things are going badly the most out of everything. Like if everything in this is good, like I've come around 100%. Everything in this is relatively okay. There's implications of bad stuff, but I'd say it's probably Tribelands just because it's the most dangerous. But if it's like good read, I'd still say Tribelands War just because it's really well written. It's fun. It's different. It's weird. It's brutal. But the Versatile War, the walk in the Sickened Woods is also a really good read. Yep. And it occurred to me, Skittles, that yes, you are Concord LARP. Awesome. Good. Seriously though, to say it again, good job writing all this. This is great. I love it. All right. I'm going to crack on with the Concordian Treasury Report, and I'll deal with comments as I see them. The Concordian Treasury Report. The Concordian Treasury wishes to report the following Concordian Treasury at the beginning of the Summer Summit is expected to be valued at 33 volts and 29 locks and 3 keys. This after the expenditure of taxes and upkeep of last season has been paid. Current expenditure to support Concordian efforts is valued at 49 volts. Oh. Ugh. That math does not bode well. Current tax income from Concordian regions is valued at 55 volts. Pierre's due is expected to be 5 volts, 5 locks, 5 keys. The position of treasurer to the Senate is currently Baron Concilian Munster. The position will be re-elected in the next Winter Summit. I mean, look, dude, it's just that math ain't good. Like, okay, look, I'm not a financer. This is, it's not my profession. I never, it's not my education. But like, reading this, my brain just kind of says, math not good. Math not good. Pierre's due being 5 volts, 5 locks, 5 keys. It's very pleasing. Just from a general, just like it's all 5s and I love it. Yep, we're money ain't great. A big part of me is like, oh, please let no senator put forward, hey, let's put some taxes on stuff during the summit and let's get money out of people's pocket and into the treasury. Really hope no one's dumb enough to put that forward. Now I've said it, someone's probably going to do it, but like, don't. Please actually don't. It's a very bad idea. They could very easily backfire. Yeah, especially if it's mandatory. Yeesh. Yep, not great. We need more territory. I've now come around to the opinion that we need more territory. If we have more territory, that's territory we can tax. If it's territory we can tax, that's money going into the treasury, which means we can pay for the things that we need to pay. Because we got a fortress getting built, and we need that finished because things are bad. Things are very bad. All right. Concordian Diplomatic Service Report. The Concordian Diplomatic Service wishes to report the following. The Concord is at war with the Onyx aristocracy, the Elsevier, the Zerkatal, and the Twin Blade Confederacy members. Members of these nations are not citizens of the Concord and are not bound or affected by its laws. Hostile actions, lest they be irredeemably cruel or outside the scope of warfare, are permitted. Trade with these nations is not permitted. The Concord has recently entered into numerous treaties with the Twin Blade Confederacy, including the Treaty of the Corsairs and the Treaty of the Bay of Promised Gold. Both treaties have been overwhelmingly aimed at the Gold Fleet, led by Captain Ophelia Diabolus. With Concordian relations with her forces being reduced to neutral, it remains unclear what larger consequences this may have with the Twin Blade Confederacy. The Concord is neutral with the Idrian Cabal and the fealties of Drummond. Trade with these nations is barely present, but ships have passed each other without issue upon the sea. Trade with these nations is permitted. The Concord is uneasy with the Hakari, Dendar nations, and the Artabazani Empire, Whilst not outwardly hostile, these nations are either standoffish towards the Concord due to diplomatic concerns or some other reason. Trade with these nations is permitted. As diplomatic tensions worsen, Artabazani ports are currently refusing entry to Concordian ships across the Empire. The Concord has completed an embassy to the Dendar nations, and reports show that the Concordian delegation has been accepted into their lands. The Concord currently maintains 2 embassies. An embassy to the Twin Blade Confederacy is based in Lorodimir, and the current ambassador is Masala Soldati. The embassy to the Dendar nation is based in Wayland, and the ambassador title is currently vacant. Civil Defense Report. The champions of each realm maintain direct control and leadership of a number of defensive enterprises. These enterprises can help defend their nations, but may also be difficult choices for the circumstances. Circumstances. The following details the current state of civil defense in each realm as decided by their champion at the Summer Summit. Hang on. Oh, okay, yeah. So, the state of Lorodimir. Lorodimir does not have any conscription. Lorodimir has begun the creation of local groups of civil defense. These militias will defend the region and assist in emergencies. Lorodimir has no weapons control. Lorodimir has begun to use sailors from the 1st Concordian Fleet as law enforcement, attempting to keep the massive city under control. Andash. Andash does not have any conscription. Andash does not have any civil defense organizations. Andash does have weapons control, with individuals requiring a pressing reason, generally employment, to openly carry weapons larger than a short knife or hatchet. Andash does have private law enforcement in the form of janissaries, giving their tithe. These warriors pursue lawbreakers, act as customs officials, and firefighters. Oh, they're firefighters! That makes sense. And it's also cool. That's good stuff. I just love that they're also firefighters. It makes sense, desert, hot, stuff catches on fire. But I don't know. I just like that. That's a fun detail. That's a really fun detail. The Kingdom of Bordavar. Bordavar does not have any. Bordavar does not have any conscription. Bordavar does not have any civil defense organizations. Bordavar does not have any weapons control. Bordavar does not have any law enforcement organizations. Yep, sounds about right. Iron Valley. The Iron Valley does not have any conscription. The Iron Valley maintains a nationwide civil defense organization, with boroughs putting forward warriors for frequent training and cooperation. The Iron Valley does not have any weapons control. The Iron Valley does not have any law enforcement organizations. Green-Wheeled Baronies. The Baronies do not have any conscription. The Baronies have begun the assembly of local militias, training small hamlets to defend themselves against threats. The Baronies do not have any weapons control. The Baronies do have private law enforcement in the form of the Hunts Marshals Guild. Yeah, the Hunts Marshals Guild. Oh, right. Yeah, the tree thing. Oh boy, I forgot about the tree thing. Damn it, Skittles. I forgot about the green thing. Goddamn tree thing. Okay. Vengeance of the Burning Grail. Athamer's Folly. The Eisen. Athamer's Folly. The Eisen Orchard. The Legiona? Legion? I don't know, man. Alright. Throughout the warming months of spring, a series of violent and sometimes arcane attacks take place across the Concord. At each of these locations, cultists in pale cream robes and clutching sharpened farming implements bring forth magic and violence against the Concord. In their wake, they leave the image of a grail, filled with grain, lit aflame. The Church of the Grain and Grail, once masquerading as simple priests and followers of Panoply, have shown true colours as foul cultists of the Zerkatal. Great. In Bolstaline, a cabal of cultists weave magic over Athamer's Folly, causing the support beams and hafts of pickaxes to curl with thorns and hungry bombs. Even after local forces overcome the violent cultists, miners spend days carving away at a warren of barbs and thorns to free lost compatriots, only to find them painfully killed by the plants themselves. In Resinderholds, a spell is woven using the blood of the cultists who appear to have slain themselves to complete it. A bulbous and warped thunder oak tree is awoken and stalks the Eisen Orchard for weeks before being slain by a militia raised by the Hounds priests. Hounds priest Hans Rockenbach. The flame that fells the creature spreads throughout parts of the orchard, risking future production. I hate. You already had Thunder Oak issues. Great, we have more wood problems. That's what I'm just going to call this. This is just hashtag wood problems. Most viciously, robed cultists storm the Legiona in Loronimir in a vicious attack. They pull embassy staff from their desks and rooms, striking with axe, sickle, and hoe. Many of the clerks and envoys are brutally murdered, as some visiting merchants. The remaining staff manage to survive by barricading themselves on the structure's roof until sailors from the docklands can be gathered. Can be gathered to kill the cultists. The Church of Grain and Grail was never a large organization, and it is thought that most of its followers have fallen in these vindictive attacks. The High Priest of the Church of Grain and Grail, a green-wielder man, known as Dal. Oh boy. As Dal remains at large. Dal remains at large, currently one of the Concord's most wanted. Yep. Cool. These violent attacks, game information. These violent attacks will have a number of effects throughout the Concord. Athamer's Folly, and the Eisen Orchard will have a reduced production this season. The embassy to the Twin Blades will find that their ability to complete their duties may be reduced. Characters attached to these commissions will have additional information in their character packs. New land. Next section. New land with new hopes. The Senate. All the Concord. Okay. Following a decree by the Concordian Senate, motion for the Senator of the Ronemere, Marciana. I'm just going to say Senator Marciana. I'm not even going to try and say that last name, just for just for the sake of ease. Citizens of the Concord who do not feel welcomed within their own realm or are interested in seeking out new lands to call home have been encouraged to do so, with the civil service removing barriers to complete such tasks. Across the Concord, it has become more common to see families or even single travelers packing up what they have to move to a new life elsewhere. These people are dwarfed by massive refugee caravans leaving places like the Tribelands and Resinderholds. While it is unclear the effect this will have on the Concord as a whole, it has caused populations across much of the Concord to shift, as well as opening up many new opportunities. Game information. Populations are moving across the Concord, shifting away from regions experiencing conflict and maladies, such as the Tribelands and Resinderholds, and towards regions previously experiencing these, such as Mukarem and Bolstali. It is likely that these regions will experience expanded attacks. Will experience expanded tax. Experience expanded tax income and decisions related to this. The Senate decree will also offer improved options for all heroes who feel the need to move realms. Any character who changes realms during the Summer Summit will not be charged any fees for taking up a new investment in a region they have moved to. Sages of Steel. And a new follower. Welcome, thank you, appreciated. Pretty sure that's what that was anyway. Indeed. Alright. Next section. Sages of Steel. Greenwood Baronies. Resinderholds. Ritters. This is for you. Ears up. For years, the Eisen College of War has been a misnomer. Little more than a campsite. Campsite or cleared campsite? Yep, cleared campsite on the edge of town, for those calling themselves Ritters to gather when they pass through town and couldn't afford a night at a tavern. Most of a Ritter's work was done in the militia garrisons and watchhouses spread across Resinderholds, clutching vestigially to the equally waning groups of hounds priests and hunts marshals. However, recent works have been completed, owing to some funds collected by both the townships of Eisen and Walstead. The wide clearing has gained an oak. Yep, has gained an oak barracks for 50 ritters and their apprentices, a greystone library, and a classroom blessed by the local sect of Stalia, and a well-outfitted training field. Enough funds have even been set aside to keep some experienced ritters on hand to help train new members of their organization and collate records for the first time since before the Zergtal invaded the Eisen College of War. Since the Zergtal invaded. The Eisen College of War is a functioning school of combat, tactics, and leadership. Combat, tactics, leadership, and strength. Game information. Improvements to the Eisen College of War have improved the standing of the Ritters within the Resenderholds, granting them additional resources, demand, and pursuits. Characters of the Ritter archetype will find that they have additional funds. Oh boy. One second. Characters with the Ritter archetype will find that they have additional funds in their character bag at the coming summit, reflecting additional work for their skills. In addition, these characters will find that additional tasks and opportunities are presented to them on behalf of the Eisen College of War. That's cool. Yeah, actually, no, I remember going through this when this first came out. Yeah, that actually sounds awesome. Kind of hoping we see some more like archetype stuff pop up more, and not just like the this is kind of to you, Skittles, like, because I've seen that the idea of band archetypes are being played around with a bit, like that kind of stuff. That could be, that actually could be really cool. I don't know if we'd see content specifically for band archetypes if band archetypes become a full-on thing. But yeah, this is cool. This is cool to see this. Yeah, I really like it. One second before I get into the next part. Yep, power's holding. Just checking. Yep, still good. Yep, just making sure everything's still functioning well enough. I'm not gonna lie, I'd be very upset if it turned out I'd had the mic muted the whole time. Alright, sorry about that. Alright. Next part. A quiet grave in a dark grove. Greenmild Barony's Resenderholds. A war raged across the border of the Concord, and its enemies struck at the heartlands of a small army of hundreds of Greenwielders, marched following the Eisen River. They walked groves. They walked the groves of the Eisen Orchard, freshly burned. They braved the marshlands south of the settled areas and braved the beasts that inhabit them, with only the words of a dead man to lead them. They sought out a cairn of a great wield sage to undo the butcher that hunted their people. Oh, crap. 1 second. Crap. Just testing again. Yep, go. Come on. There we go. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I thought I just unplugged all my stuff. Sorry. Alright. Next part. Oh no, sorry. Not the next part. Continuing the same part. Beyond the marshes and on the edges of a sable heart that overlooks Lake Larger. Larger? Yeah, it's probably larger. They found it. A single raised burial cairn overgrown with thorns. Oh, why with thorns? And beset by a curse that brought darkness wherever there was life. Sorry, brought darkness where there was life. A statue of a robed woman with a farmer's scythe looked over all with sadness. Her brass tears corroded away, but as the party grew closer, the forest turned and swirled, inviting them forward to doom or salvation. They did not know their wheeled sages. Inviting them forward to doom or salvation. They did not know. Their wheeled sages laid hand and spell on the enchanted stone barriers to the grave's heart, and a bolt of magic echoed through them. In distant Walsed, a creature howled, a hunger it had not known for more than 100 years. The Red Butcher, they called it now, but before that it was Baron's Bane. Before it was Blafferfest, and before it was the Eisen Beast. Beyond any dreams of growing beyond its territories, or feasting on the wielders it wanted to consume its creator for revenge for being born into a carving hunger it did not wish. And its creator's final rest had been found and disturbed. The writhing chokehold around Walsted is released and stalks south. And stalks towards southeastern Brisinderholz to finish a blood debt more than 100 years in the making. Oh, creepy tree angry, creepy tree sad. Why do you make me feel sad for creepy tree? You monster, you made me feel sad for creepy tree. Game information. The tomb of Gabriel Slur of Sableheart has been found. Drawing the Red Butcher from Walsted, but its magical defenses will require the combined skill of Greenweald to break all while keeping the Butcher and its spawn. Why does it have spawn? How about no? Keeping the Red Butcher and its spawn at bay. There will be a chance to break the tomb and uncover mysteries. To break the tomb, uncover mysteries, and defeat the Red Butcher of Walsted once and for all at this summit. The luring of the Red Butcher from Walsted has allowed trade to flood back into this city, removing any negative effects from previous seasons. Oh, great, creepy tree. Excuse me, I'm not gonna lie. Creepy tree needs to go to sleep. Also, for the like what seems like one person still hanging around. Yeah, if something's mucking up with the stream, whatever, just let me know. Return to the fold. Iron Valley, Bolsterley, and Winholm. Across Bolsterley, healing. Yep, it's all good. Thanks. Alright. Across Bolsterley, a healing is occurring. Valley folk exiled from the high... excuse me. Yeah, the Valley folk exiled from the High Valley, who have been living on the outskirts of Bolsterley for decades, have been granted amnesty by the Reeves Council. This has allowed thousands to rejoin with their countryfolk and swell the population of Bolsterley considerably. This announcement is the result of nearly a year worth of discussion between the Reeves Council and Marshal Kerndon, leader of these outcasts. Whilst Stribbington and the outer parts of Bolsterley are enthused by the newcomers, all is not well. There are families and burrows in Winholm and among the refugee camps that have raised complaints against this decision, accusing the Reeves Council of abandoning the laws and blood debts after being wooed by new recruits for the many war efforts. While the decision has been made, it is likely that the effects will remain for some time. In moments like these, the Iron Valley adage of "we stand together" is put to the test. Game information. The decision to give amnesty to the exiles in Bolsterley will have continuous effects across the valley for some time. It is likely that Iron Valley titles will have a number of decisions in regards to it during the coming summit. Due to the increased population in Bolsterley, opportunities abound in building building off the back of consecutive enchantments, economic windfalls, and policy decisions. There are few regions experiencing as much growth as this. Characters whose investments are based in Bolsterley may upgrade these investments for 1 Wayne less to a minimum of 1 during the coming summit. Although the maximum of 1 upgrade per summit still remains. Yeah, that's fair. Blood Unblessed. The Church, Windholm. Tragedy strikes the valley unevenly as an avalanche. Oh boy. Oh, hang on. Tragedy strikes the valley unevenly as an avalanche would. Oh no, just, yeah, as an avalanche. The wounds of old Hearth Knight. The continued rumours of the Stone Bear's return. And the malaise of fear continue to loom from the shadows of memory and anger in Bolsterley. These wounds became grim determination. Bolsterley is a place of poor happenstance, and this is but another in a long list of wounds. But in the High Valley, things are different. In the High Valley, wounds with historic blades are felt ever keener. It is the silence of the Church, of the Reeves Council and the Senate that festers this wound. Concordian priests fell upon this Concordian priests fell upon this comrades and their congregation at the last Old Hearth Night. Many died brutalized at a feast of tradition and love, torn apart by half-formed bestial arms in this moment when faith was shaken. When Wergild was asked for, and when community was tested, none of the leaders of the High Valley gave response, and so their flocks moved forward as best as they could. In the months that have passed, things have soured, whilst none speak of heresy or know that the ghosts of their divine pasts are haunting the valley. Hang on. Okay, yeah. In the months that have passed, things have soured, while none speak of heresy or know that the ghosts of their divine past are haunting the valley. Our shadows are haunting the valley. Are shadows on the wall. There is disillusion with the Church and the Reeves. Perhaps passage in the Concord are too much of a glittering distraction to remember the High Valley in winter. Perhaps other concerns bothered their time. Perhaps their plight was of little worth. Regardless, sermons draw less of a crowd. Shrines gather uncleared snow, and the tithing bowl grows empty. In the High Valley, excuse me, in the High Valley, the Church begins to find opinions of them are cooling. As the weather warms, only time will tell how this progresses. Game information. Disgruntlement with the Church and with the Reeves Council in Windholm has grown over the winter following the Old Hearth Night attacks. Petitioners for Wergild and restitution have withdrawn their request, and it will likely take a more coordinated effort by the Reeves Council and the Church to return a divine fervour to the valley. Congregations based in Windholm will not produce any additional crystal mana. Will not produce any additional resources specifically this past season, and will only able to take the petition downtime action for the coming season. Okay, so yeah, those are congregations in based in Windholm. Yep, petitions are on the option, my friend. For the coming season, anyway. Yep, I agree with you entirely there, Super. Yep, yeah. Let's just enjoy. Let's just ignore some pretty. It's like, hey, we had some pretty serious shit go down. You wanna maybe kind of help us out here? Kind of a debt to be paid here. It's like, yeah, lol, but like people, like bring in people, money taxes land. Yep. I both in and out of character see the plight here and am inclined to agree. Yuck. Alright. The ball returns. Oh, right, yeah, pig friends. Pig friends. Angry dragon slaying pig friends. It's incredibly demeaning, but you get the idea. The ball returns. Iron Valley, Kingdom of Bordavar, Windholm, and Wayland. With a warming in the high places, the vast ice canyons of the deep steam vault melt, as this inhospitable frozen labyrinth of monstrous anger opens its maw wide. Opens its maw wide. Rugged wild people descend. Members of the lost Boar's Head clan enters Heinsgraff and Arvington, clad in goat furs and strange. Clad in goat furs, strange ancient styled armor, and faces as craggy as the mountains themselves. They wait merchants for Locke. What? Hang on. Yeah, they wait merchant flock to them, eager to make them travel and sell their inflated goods on the far side of the mountain. But the Boarheads clan refuses. They won't take anyone up into the mountain until their tithe is paid. As these dedicated merchants wait in southern Wayland and northern Windholm, a group of skilled summiters filter down from the steam vaults in ones and twos, clutched in frozen hands and hidden in sealed packs are plans. Plans, not plants. Plans. Plans, roots, and stolen knowledge. They have tried their best to wander the forbidden paths of the Boar's Head clan, and they might have found a way to steal knowledge of the paths from these strange dragon slayers. Oh, can't. Yeah, alright. Yeah, go nuts. No, it's all good. Sorry, housemate's just needing some electricity. No shame. No shame at all. Yeah, super. This being possibly the to clarify for those listening, the thing with the issues between the peoples of the High Valley and the church and such, and the wanting weregild and remunerations and all that. That really could all just be a case of just someone just didn't commit to an action in their letters and such. Yeah, very well could be. Yep, it is what it is. Right, so for the Boar's Head clan staff, game information. The Boar's Head clan will return to the summit. This time. This time demanding their tithe from both the Kingdom of Bordavar as well as the Iron Valley, to reopen their mountain paths for the summer. If their paths are open, it is likely that it will support businesses and farms in both regions. Oh, that's nice. That's good. Money. Yeah, money. Efforts have also been taken to investigate the roots of the Boar's Head clan. Hang on. I guess, yeah, efforts have also been taken to investigate the routes of the Boar's Head clan, with some options becoming available to Iron Valley and Bordavarian leadership at this coming summit. That's cool. Okay, so, tithe, open paths, more trade, business and farms for Iron Valley and Bordavar, good stuff. Possibly also just looking at how to do it ourselves, also good. Could also be bad, because, clan of experienced dragon slayers, considering that dragons are absolutely a thing in the lands of Esterra. That one's an interesting thing. But hey, not my problem, right? No, it's totally my problem. It's going to annoy me. Oh boy, yep. Put simply, good but bad. It has the potential to kind of go pear-shaped. Yeah. All right, next one. Stones are laid, blood is held. Wayland. In 6 locations across the border between Wayland and Royal Borderbar, groups of common folk work hard in the mud, wind, and rain, breaking the ground and flattening the earth for the first delivery of Arkstone to be laid. These 6 border keeps will act as garrisons, redoubts, and watchtowers, ensuring that the border against the undead of the Onyx aristocracy remains watched evermore, whilst it is still years until these keeps will begin their long watch. There is already fear that the Onyx aristocracy will strike before they can be completed. Yeah. From across the border into what was once Royal Bordavar, ghouls and other cunning undead can be seen prowling and probing for weaknesses in the Bordavarian line. Any chance to crash into any chance to crash into a poorly prepared site, killing its workers and stealing its Arkstone. However, it appears that the true focus of the Onyx aristocracy is currently elsewhere, as no attack has materialized yet. Yep. Meanwhile, in Wayland, taverns overflow with discussions, debate, and argument about what heroes. Meanwhile, in Wayland, taverns overflow with discussion, debate, and argument. What heroes should these border keeps be named after? Who should they belong to? Are the workers risking their lives being paid justly, or are they another cog in the Concord's war machine? All idle tavern talk until it's not. Game information. Construction of the fortification on Wayland's eastern border has begun in form of 6 keeps. This long process will take some time, but even now, coin and resources have begun to be spent, which leads to a number of strategic and cultural concerns. If the Onyx aristocracy is successful in their campaign in Wayland, they will likely ransack the constructions of these keeps for tools and precious Arkstone. If the Concord loses any hold in Wayland before the fortification is completed, all the resources and construction completed will be lost. Oh boy. There will be a number of decisions to be made in regards to this new fortification by Bordavarian leadership at the Summer Summit. Oh boy. Gotta hold that sucker for like 2 years. Yeah, Bordavar, hold the border for like 2 years. Love it. Absolutely love it. Yep. On the upside, at least this one's a little bit more snap to it. Alright. This episode, that is to say. Alright. Return to ducal power. I really hope it's pronounced ducal, otherwise that's going to be real awkward later. Return to ducal power. Wayland, Kingdom of Bordavar. The wise council of Bordavar was raised following the death of King Artorius Bordavar to search for a monarch for the kingdom, as well as maintain the lands ruled by the royal house. As the companions of King Artorius died over the years, and their lands defaulted back to the crown, and by extension the wise council, the duty to manage the lands of the nation quickly overshadowed their pursuit of a new monarch. Over time, the wise council became known more as bureaucratic landlords and misers who couldn't coronate their way out of a feast if a sword was held to their hearts. Oh boy, ouch! In a decision that has overturned the nobility of Wayland and created a frenzy of ambition amongst these powerful folk. The wise council has decreed that the ducal seat of Heartgrave will be granted in mandate a noble house of the wise council's choosing. The Duke or Duchess of Heartgrave would be the liege of all lands south of Lake Larja and west of Elf's Line, including the farmlands of Wayland, the Wolfton Woods, and the manor. And the manor. Right, that manor. The ducal house would answer to the wise council. It would be responsible for completing a mandate given by the council or face removal of the noble title. Swiftly, the Free Folk Council of Wayland has moved within Wayland's township to declare Wayland a trade township in accordance with the Oaken Accords. Wayland Township will not fall under the lands of the ducal house of Heartgrave, but will instead be administered by their own sheriff to be elected at the Summer Summit by common consensus. Across Wayland, Tammon's full with rumour about who might take the new ducal seat of Heartgrave, who will stand for Sheriff of Wayland, and how long it will take for the Wise Council to release the remaining ducal seats of Evergard and Starscar. Regardless of the kingless kingdom, will see new leaders. Release the ducal seats of Evergard and Starscar. Regardless, the kingless kingdom will see new leaders rise within their lands. Rise within. I guess it's probably rise. You know what I mean. We're there. Game information. 2 new titles for Bordavarian characters will be available during the Summer Summit. The ducal seat of Heartgrave will be available for any noble character from Bordavar who does not currently hold any Concordian title with a term of 2 years the ducal seat conferred numerous powers over the region of Heartgrave, much of southwestern Wayland. It is the first step in creating a ducal council to rule over the region. This position will be elected during a council of nobles called in the early evening on the second day of the summer summit. The Sheriff of Wayland is a title available to any commoner character from Bordevar who does not hold a Concordian title. Title endorsed by the common folk of Wayland. The Sheriff of Wayland will be responsible for ensuring the freedom and security of its people, supporting economic growth, and sitting on any future ducal councils. The Sheriff of Wayland will be elected in the early evening on the second day of the summer summit by vote of the common folk, overseen by an alderman from the Wayland. Cool. So, do we, real quick, for anyone, anyone on the team watching, listening, that is, do we, like, has it been defined yet, the difference between noble and commoner? Or common folk, rather? Because I haven't seen anything about it. Because I think we've yet to, from memory, I haven't seen anything about it. I've kind of been digging a little bit. Unless the wiki got updated like a few days ago. I just haven't looked. Super recently. Huh, okay, so, not being rules in, okay, so, to put this forward, it is not mechanically defined, it is socially defined. Huh. As a Bordavarian, you will 100% know which one you are, okay. It's like okay! Yeah, alright. Okay, so in the sense that it would be like a sub-archetype sort of thing. Like, okay, is there going to be a section on the wiki saying, you know, which one you are, kind of choose which one you are, sort of thing? Like, I imagine there will be something about this on the wiki at some point. Because otherwise that's just going to get confusing. Because I would argue to a point, like, archetypes are kind of more sort of a social lore thing. Like, yeah, there's can be mechanic stuff with it too, but now, as we're clearly seeing, there's mechanic stuff with being a noble or a commoner. So, I imagine it would kind of, it'd be fine. Okay, yeah, so, alright. Cool. Yeah, so for everyone else, it's not common and noble, it's not a static thing, it's not something that will change. You'd choose it when you make your character, and it's something you can also earn. Like going from commoner to noble and noble to commoner, bearing on situation. Cool. That's what I imagine. Cool. No, that's fine. That makes sense. I get. It is the thing of my thought kind of goes to purely social defining. That can get that. I mean, yeah, okay. Like kind of more of a player defined. You are this, but I can definitely see a lot of people going like, hey, like mechanically, am I this? Like we already have an outlier with that being Sinclair being Sir Gallad, like being knighted, but being common folk. But yeah, it is what it is. So, cool. That actually sounds really cool. Now having really taken the time to kind of absorb that. That's really cool. Dope. Good stuff. It seems like every realm is getting like new stuff. Just new stuff in general. It's awesome. I love it. I really, really love it. It's going to make the game so much more of a headache to experience, in a good way. In a really, 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 really good way. Good job. All right. Next one. No place for fetid fealty. Laronamir. Bordavar. Oh, it's this one. Okay. Oh boy, little siege. Here we go. After 2 years of rising conflict in the rural north of Laronamir, it appears that a corner has finally turned in relations between revolutionary Laronamir and Bordavarian refugees. After a cohort of Concordian heroes broke up a small siege, the risk of being beaten by the powerful warriors and mages began to cool tempers, but it was the decisions of both the Concordian Senate and the Bordavarian nobility that yielded the truest results. Senator Marciana of Laronamir's Senator Marciana of Laronamir's motion. Hang on, what? Hang on. Truest results. Hang on. Okay, yeah. Senator Marciana of Laronamir's motion to enable freer movement of citizens eager to shift their citizenship has moderated the region somewhat, as refugees of Rosenderholz and the Tribelands have furthered the melting pot of culture in this unique area. Okay. Around the Concordian capital. Alright, yep, cool. Notably, a declaration in the area signed by many Bordavarian nobles, including the Senator of Wayland and the Champion of the King, was deeply effective, declaring that Wayland was not a place of danger, and that the Concord had spared no expense ensuring that the region was safe for the people of Bordavar. Nearly overnight, vast numbers of Bordavarian refugees fled northern Laronamir for the welcoming arms of home. Trials for the Bordavarians involved in the violence are swift, with many returning to Wayland to face lashings, and for one of them, a headsman's axe. Oh boy. Those refugees returning to Wayland with an image of violent revolution, of the overreach of rebelliousness, and the fire that burns in the hearts of the Laronamir. Jokes become rumors, rumors become lies. Quickly, taverns across Wayland are replete with cautionary tales about too much revolution and the violence of Laronamir. For their part, Laronamir revolutionaries face swift judgment in the city, with many receiving similar punishments to their Bordavarian foes. The Revolutionary Party protests the public floggings, stating that revolutionary fervor should moderate the punishment, but not remove it. They draw attention to the atrocities of the revolution that dwarf the recent uprising. Regardless of the truth of the matter, ties between the folk of Laronamir and Bordavar has cooled, as has revolutionary zeal amongst the common people of Bordavar. Game information. Actions taken by numerous characters in the Ronomere and Bortvar, as well as a skirmish conflux at the Winter Summit, have brought an end to the revolutionary uprising in northern the Ronomere. Whilst controversial in northern the Ronomere. Whilst controversial, the violence between Bordovarian refugees and northern revolutionaries has stopped, with many of the Bordovarians returning to Wayland. There will be decisions to be made in regards to this for the Ronomere leadership. For Bordovarian and Ronomere leadership. My apologies. Due to a reduction in available farmers in the Ronomere and in ease of hiring new help in Wayland, both regions' farms will both have produced slightly more in this past season. I'm going to make sure of that. Cool, yep, so farms will produce more. Awesome. Right. Okay, that's actually alright. Ended pretty well. Awesome. Good job, Concord, for dealing with that really painful situation fairly well. You got the Revolutionary Party kind of being a pain, but such is Lorenemere. Next up, speaking of Lorenemere, I believe this is... Yep, speaking of Lorenemere, the people have spoken. Lorenemere. After a laborious and often divisive election, the people of the Ronomere have made their voices heard across the district of the city and beyond. Thousands of votes have been tallied, and for the first time on the 10th of August 222, the Ronomere People's Parliament, good lord, sat, hopefully bringing stable governance to Legends City for the first time in nearly 2 years. The results are emblematic of Lorenemere society, surprising some and emboldening others. While no single party received enough votes to lead without coalition with others, there was certainly a gap between victors and the less popular. The Sigils, a party dedicated to the concepts of the Concord and supporting their alliance as a whole, have taken the most power in the People's Parliament, reflecting an overwhelming support and belief in the precepts of the Concord. However, is good lord. However, the Concord. Hang on. Yeah, precepts of the Concord. Okay. However, as is to be expected, by the people of the Ronomere, the revolutionaries are second in power. By a small margin, the group are hardened believers in freedom for all and empowerment of the disenfranchised. A dynamic party, to be sure. Excuse me. But also one that may make waves for the people of the Ronomere, for good or for ill. Two parties have taken the third position of power equally between them, while both decently less powerful and representative, the sigil of the revolutionaries, they represent a growing warlike and infrastructural concern within the Ronomere. The Bravos, a militaristic party devoted to increasing Loronomir's land forces and reclaiming its lost territories, and the Villa Estate, a nationalistic party focused on the rural people of Madre Campo, and Esperanza have taken these weakest positions within the People's Parliament. All is not victory celebrations in the taprooms of Loronomir, unfortunately, with numerous parties collapsing to infighting and disillusionment following less than stellar results. Reports show that the status of the Blue and Whites, the Nivarans, and the Lighthouse Council all collapsed, or folded into other parties following the election. As the next 18 months unfolds, the people of Loronomir will look to this parliament for guidance. Whether or not he is able to give this guidance remains to be seen. Game information. The Loronomir people have spoken and have elected their first parliament. The parties with the most power will begin to put pressure on the leaders of Loronomir delegation to the Concord in order to act in line with the values and goals of these political parties. There will be opportunities to both benefit and be harmed by these groups for Loronomir leadership, which they will have to balance carefully. The next election is scheduled for summer 223, so 1 year hence. Calvano's Academy for Law and Investigation. I really like this one. For Loronomir. As the fleets of Loronomir prepare for war and gather their forces and gather the people of Legend City hold their breath. The Docklands War continues to wage, making a third of the city a dangerous hive of scum and villainy. You son of a bitch. You couldn't resist yourself. Couldn't resist yourself, could you? Had to put in the Star Wars reference. No. Oh, of course he did. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I do the same. Right. Yeah, making a third of the city. Making a third of the city a dangerous hive of scum and villainy. But an essential one at that, responsible for much of the city's prosperity. But with the fleet considering their next moves, Loronomir may be left without a lot of law enforcement options, as it has deputized its military to impose law and order between the Dockland struggles in the northern parts of the realm, and the continued crime across all of Loronomir. There are serious concerns that the city might fall to lawlessness. While the solutions for such concerns are well beyond the reach of individuals, it has not stopped individuals from stepping forward with their solutions. One such man is Vasaba Calvano. An aging revolutionary, Vasaba Calvano was the armory warden of the Bambino Castle, the prison fort that sits outside of the city to the southwest. He rose to fame during the revolution for unionizing the guards of the Castle and releasing political prisoners. It appears that his history has hardened Calvano against tyrannical uses of force against the common people, whilst also showing him the dangerous underbelly of true criminals present in the Loronomir. How did this guy not become Batman? I will never know. This is why, unfortunately, age comes for us all. Heroes of the Revolution and Vasaba Calvano, comes for us all. Oh, sorry. Unfortunately, age comes for all heroes of the revolution. And Balsabar Calvano is unable to spend his days advising bosuns of the fleet on how to patrol the docklands, or seeking out knife killers in the Windward district. But on the grounds of the old Bambino Castel, a hall has opened with a new signet: Calvano's Academy for Law and Investigations. Across the city, posters have been seen advertising the new enterprise. Calvano is seeking a dedicated, community-minded and intelligent individuals who study the city and his methods to fight crime within Laronimir and protect its people as investigators. The address for the academy is pinned simply on the bottom and invites applicants and invites application essays from all individuals not burdened by other enterprise or title. That's cool. There's another one I actually really liked. Like that's like, hey, Law Enforcement Academy, like investigations. French Sherlock Holmes could be coming in the future. That could be cool. I'm into it. I love it. Game information. Calvano's Academy for Law and Investigation has opened on the outskirts of Laronimir, hoping to train new investigations. Hang on. Yeah, investigators. It's just for the program I'm using for voiceover and that is just making it sound weird. Train new investigators. Balsabar Calvano. Yeah, sorry, Balsabar. No, whatever. You get the idea. Calvano is seeking apprentices to take up his skills and mantle. Characters without titles who are interested in taking up Calvano's tutelage are invited to complete an academy application essay and send it by winged messenger to Calvano's Academy of Law and Investigation. Appropriate applications will proceed. Sorry, let me read that again. Appropriate applications will proceed to a vetting process and will. Vetting process and further challenges of detective skill. That sounds awesome. That just sounds genuinely very cool. Also, Wing Messenger, just to say it now for those that are unaware, that is a ceremony, I believe, of Servitas, if my memory serves. I don't have the ceremonies in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it is Servitas. Right. Next section. The Docklands War. Laronimir. Despite considerations to the contrary, and the wild power of the storms that range around the Concord and the coastal districts of Laronimir's docklands, Laronimir's docklands continue to be a place where simple violence and criminal coercion are the name of the game. The Docklands War, a criminal conflict between rival gangs and cartels of Laronimir, continues to wage, making these important areas of Laronimir a battlefield of murder, arson, and theft. Beneath the chaos of the war, a skilled eye can see shifts in allegiance and careful strikes designed to create maximum advantage. The Light District's legionnaires rest the Baylight Quarter and the Hawks Market are all host to street brawls as rival protection brackets slam into each other, with greed in their hearts and sharp edges on their minds. Skilled second-story folk and gutter knives strike at carefully chosen opportunities. As power begins to pool in certain areas of the Docklands, new contenders appear, and the conflict looks like it's far from stopping. It remains to be seen if a frontrunner will appear, or if the civil government will step in to put a stop to the danger this conflict poses. Game information. The Docklands War is a small-scale conflict. A small-scale conflict open to the Ronomere warbands where they compete with each other and the other gangs of the Ronomere to control this lucrative area of the city. There are numerous opportunities for such grounds spread into the player base beyond. The war has continued over the winter, and there are a number of impacts that it has had as a result. As they are as follows. A series of misdirections of timber and a daring wagon heist leads to Thunder Oak destined for the new Ronomere fleet going missing. The Ronomere fleet will be completed with a current strength of 4,500 rather than 5,000. Great. This does not affect its maximum strength. Lack of violence and crime in the waterfront areas of the Docklands allows naval investments based in the Ronomere to function as normal during this season. Increased demand for mercenaries to both take part. Hang on. I'm going to make sure I said the right thing here. Yep. Increased demand for mercenaries to both take part in and defend against The Docklands War means that all the Ronomere military investments that take the independent action downtime this coming season will function as if they were 2 tiers higher. This does not include investments who take Docklands War actions. Yeah, okay. This does not include characters that take Docklands War actions. Okay. Tax income from Ronomere is reduced as long as the Docklands War continues. Okay. Hooray. Okay. I don't even know how far I'm even through this thing at this point. Actually, hang on. I could do a quick check. All right. Yep. We're chugging through it. Just gonna check something real quick. 1 second. Yep. Battery still holding well. Awesome. Okay. All right. Next one. If you already know where it is. Twin Blade Confederacy. Naval investment. Corsairs. As the Golden Fleet returns to its port on the Guardian, Aphilia Diabolus' city of Banathia, returns fully to life. Word quickly floods the sea lanes west of Esterra that merchant vessels once again need to watch their cargo holds and pray to their gods if they wish to make their journeys successfully. But thankfully, more pleasant news has reached the Bay. But thankfully, more present news has reached the Concord in line with new friendship between the Golden Fleet and the Concord. Banathia has been opened to Concordian shipping, promising a likely sojourn and a raucous nightlife to rival even the Ronomere. In particular, a group of the Golden Fleet, who name themselves the Sejax, have sent out an invitation for all Andashi Corsairs, inviting them to share in a festival and begin a tournament of seamanship, reckless arrogance, and skill. Word has reached quiet taverns and docksides that those with a mind for plunder, wealth, or secrets are welcome to contact the Golden Fleet as one of those close to Captain Ophelia Diabolos is interested in the ambition of Concordian citizens, in particular Captain Lucas Axe, captain of the Questing Hawk. Lockhagust? I don't even know, man. The Lockhagust of Letters has made himself available. Finally, after considerable disgruntlement from the Civil Services Cartography Department, changes have been made to recognize the Guardian as its own region. This brings Concordian maps in understanding in line with the reality of the world. Game information. A number of changes have occurred centered around the Golden Fleet's settlement in Banathia. On the Guardian, good lord. Primarily, the location has become an option for the trade with foreign ports downtime action that naval investments can pursue. Although these investments should note that the goods they are trading for are likely the products of piracy. Trading with the Golden Fleet at Banathia will produce the following: currency, random resources, potions. Of course, it's potions. Oh, actually, that's actually not the worst thing now that I'm thinking about it. Like, currency, random resources, potions. The fact that it's full on potions is actually not the worst. It's still piracy, but you know, it's of things that's not the worst. It also says random resources. Thunder Oak, Arkstone, Mithril, maybe? I don't know. I don't know how any of that stuff works. It's not my job. And apparently, yeah, we do in fact have the individual that is Lucas Axe, hanging out. Great, thanks. Love it. It's yep. None of this is making me uneasy at all. Thanks. All right. Andashi characters with the Corsair archetype who take the trade with foreign nations downtime action targeting Banathia in this coming season, my apologies, will be treated as if they were one tier higher and gain additional information from the Sejiks. Captain Lucas Axe, Lockhagust, I don't even know, hang on. Lockhagos? I've never come across this word before. I'm just going to say Master of Letters, because it's probably not wrong, to Captain Ophelia Diabolos, is available for contact through the Call Winged Messengers. Through the Call Winged Messengers. So, the ceremony. Yep. Yeah, the Winged Messenger ceremony. He is in the residence at Banathia. Finally, the Guardian has been amended to be its own region, rather than part of Mukarem. This is better fitting with its strategic function and role in the world, since it is far more of a distant place than part of Mukarem. However, given the region's size, it will only have a maximum hold of 2 rather than 3, similar to Balag's Holdfast. That's fair. Yeah, it's only an island. It's only a big ass island. It's not, that makes sense. Also, that kind of means Bay Lake's Holdfast is massive, which I guess it kind of implies that it is. But like, woof. Just okay. Yeah, it's like sorry, in chat on with all the twin blades stuff. Like, it's fine. I was there last game. No murders happened. I mean, look, murders happen a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of murders. There's a lot. Yeah, surprisingly, like not all that much, but like more than you'd maybe think. Maybe. All right, next up, a line in the sand. Andash, the Tribelands. As the forces of Sister Oak threatened the Andashi people, they flocked to the capital. Those who sought only a life of community, those who lacked the fund to travel further, or those who had simply lost everything to begin with. In this moment, they found a city that was dedicated to building and growing, rather than looting and fleeing. The champion of the tribes, Eremir Elobergon, gave the command that the city would not fall, that every step would be fought for, and every drop of blood would be spent to save it. This was a mighty gamble, for if done poorly, there would be tens of thousands of nomads sheltering around the Obregon when the raiders of the Zerkatal would fall upon them. The civil government had not been idle either, with Catalina El Obregon obtaining 5 volts towards the support of the refugees in Obregon. Plans were drawn up for a fine new series of plazas to house them, and quickly Obregon became a city on the rise again, not 1 days from destruction. Love that statement. But Eremir El Obregon is no liar. Sorry. Ugh. This is very itchy at the moment. But Eremir El Obregon is no liar. The First Andashi army gave their lives. Oh, yes, they did. So that the people of the city would be safe. There was no great massacre of the innocents, no burning of the spires, and tragic despoiling. And so, the Andashi people can now reap the rewards of this gamble, as is the glory of ambition. Game information. Andashi leadership's dogged determination to remain and invest in Obregon, as the Zerkatal tightened the noose around them, was a considerable gamble that put many lives and coffers at risk. Whilst it could be argued that this was reckless and dangerous, it is a decision that has paid off. All businesses, farms, mines, wildernesses, congregations, and ley lines. Hey, what about herb gardens? Just saying. What about the herb gardens? That's fine. Herb gardens are already super powerful. It's all good. So I'll repeat all that again. So all businesses, farms, mines, wildernesses, congregations, and ley lines in the tribe lands will have functioned as if they were 1 tier higher this past season. Andashi characters from the tribe lands may experience the following roleplay prompt. Our people are true gamblers, and we gamble, we win. You are far more likely to take risky gambles of any kind this coming season. Oh, that wasn't the quote. I don't care. It's fun. Basically, yeah. Our people are true gamblers, and when we gamble, we win. So Tribelands characters can go with that, and be a little more, take a few more risks, I'm certainly going to. Oh, okay, now we come to my favourite title in this entire document. Right, next one. This is probably my favourite title of probably any of them so far, with the exception of a lot of the article titles in the previous Wins of the World. Bam! And the Major's gone. And Ashy School of Gifts, Artisans. Following a request by the Pathfinders of the Concordian Civil Service, the Andashi School of Gifts have been tirelessly working on new magic crafts since the end of the Winter Summit. Their focus has not been on war magic or on healing, but on something far more dangerous: teleportation. Despite the Concord's use of portal magic through the Waystones is certainly an abnormality that is responsible for much of the nation's skill at arms. But in order to ensure that the mages are not a... to ensure that the mages are not a danger to themselves or to others, teleportation has been left largely uninvestigated. Even the spell Recall is simply a short distance hop to return a user to within a portal controlled by a Waystone. While the work of this recent creation has opened the door to more diverse studies into teleportation, there are concerns that such knowledge may be more dangerous than we first thought. The new item created by the School of Gifts has become known as Pathfinder's Gambit, often appearing as a series of woven sun's iron wires in a small bracelet holding both essensite and bloodglass gems. The wires rip hair and skin from the arm to act as a secondary target, enabling the recall spell to be cast, which requires two beings. To cast, which requires two beings. The gambit will latch on to the nearest portal or the what? Oh, we'll latch onto the nearest portal or portal location. Gotcha. Either throwing the wielder back through the portal or facilitating a shorter distance teleport to draw the user out of a bind. However, the gambit can be bloodthirsty. Even simple use can be painful, but every now and then, it draws far more than it meant to. Some Pathfinders have reported bleeding wounds, and one has even reported the loss of a hand. Yeah, loss of a hand. Cool. Nope. Yeah, and I was really considering taking this amulet right until I saw the part of losing a hand. No, thank you. Better the loss of a hand than the loss of a life. Fair. Game information. The Andashi School of Gifts has created a new artisan craft. It is as follows: Pathfinder's Gambit, Masterwork Craft, Talisman, Talisman Jewelry. Cost: 6 sun's iron, 6 bloodglass, 6 essensite. Effect: once per day, you may swift cast the recall spell. With the following alteration: the spell only targets yourself. There is no additional target, and it cannot be increased to have additional targets. You can cast this spell whilst wearing medium armor. It costs 0 mana. It can be cast in passage to return you to either the Shard Circle Waystone or the main Waystone. Which is cool. We actually have teleportation in passage now. That's kind of sick. Sorry, just got a notification for a thing. That's awesome. The fact that this thing works in passage is kind of cool, and I'm really happy to see the team kind of branch out into kind of playing with passage as just a space for cool things to happen. Like this, I really like whenever like weird things kick off in passage. I really like that. Like having the I think it was the ego of the Iron Valley at the previous summit go berserk was awesome. What was the summer summit last year? What was that? Oh yeah, I guess yeah. Like I could say the obvious, like heralds turning up, heralds of the spheres rolling up. Like that's always cool. But just having outside stuff, like things outside of passage, affect passage, or have something come into passage, is awesome. I love that. I really love that. I've always loved that because it makes the world feel more real. Whether the person or persons turning up or the thing happening is a threat or like an envoy or a diplomat or just a person rolling up and checking out stuff or a herald or an eternal or whatever, it's cool. I really like it because it makes the world feel like it exists. Beyond just confluxes. Yes, confluxes are a thing, and skirmishes. Sometimes they're an all-out fight. Sometimes it's, hey, go on this quest, go check out this thing. But that feels super remote, coming from someone that's only been on a single conflux. I like passage having things happen to it during a summit. It's cool. Like I was in the Shard Circle when the ego thing happened, and we had someone come in and bring forth the statement, the Zerkatal have invaded passage, which was not the case, but was also kind of the case, which was terrifying and awesome, and I was excited and scared because cool things were happening, and it's something that throws a wrench into everything, and that's the kind of wrench I kind of want. As long as it's not always a bad wrench, because you want cool wrenches too. Like, heralds are great and all, but heralds really only affect. I say affect. They feel like they really are only targeted at priests a lot of the time. So having stuff that is a little more open, like having a trader come through, like a well-known trader, roll through with stuff is cool. Having someone from a distant land turn up and, like, similar to the Artabazan thing, only less painful and divisive and problematic would be awesome. Of course, you want to throw a little bit of chaos into the mix. You want to kick the beehive sometimes, shake things up, stir things up, let things go crazy. But just having cool stuff happen, like having someone from the Adrian Cabal turn up. It's like, yes, I hear you have been looking into new magics or looking into this stuff. Like, I'm interested to hear what you found. I'm interested in what you have to say. Like, having that happen. Admittedly, they probably wouldn't do that, but people turning up with cool stuff and, like, being in cool kit and wanting to talk to people, especially more than one person at a time. Like, having stuff happen at passage rather than having passage. People in passage have to go out to confluxes to do stuff. Having people come to passage is cool. Is really cool. It makes things super interesting. It also means you don't have to go on a conflux or a skirmish to experience stuff. It can happen in passage too. Is always cool. But that's just me. I like cool things. I'm a little biased. I don't go on confluxes. Don't really do that. Non-com, not really my thing. But yeah, I like cool things happening in Passage. Cool things happening in Passage makes Passage feel cool. Terrifying things happening in Passage on the rare occasion keeps the threat real. It makes the threat feel much more real because, Passage is a safe space, and then the bad things happen in Passage, and then it gets scary. But it's cool. Because it's a good reminder. It's a more active reminder for everyone, because it's such a shock to the system. And then having cool things and nice things happen that isn't a herald turning up, because we have that happening a lot, which isn't the worst thing. It's been cool. It's still nice. I like it, but having something a little more interesting, every now and again, a little more different, a little more fun, a little more, not even just fun, just interesting, just intriguing, different. Like we've got the Dendar Nations stuff, It could be the case of someone or a delegation, just a whole group of the Dendar, we'll come to Passage, we'll come and have a look at it, assuming that relations improve to such a point. But that would be awesome, just having those of the Dendar roll up, like, hey, let's check it out. Like, hey, you've got your religion, you've got the spheres, tell us about the spheres. And then, we'll tell you about our gods. Because it's not heresy. It really isn't. And someone's really going to have to throw some real tight leashes on those priests to make them shut up. And point out it's not heresy. It really isn't heresy. Because, exchange of culture is good. And as someone that really wants to go for the position of the ambassador to the Dendar, that I, both as a player and character, want to learn about the Dendar, I would love that. Even then, whether I end up becoming the ambassador to the Dendar or not, I would still want that to happen. Because, again, having things from outside Passage come into Passage, whether they're hostile or not, is cool. I digress, though. Right, so, going back, before I went on that little tangent, to the Pathfinder's Gambit bracelet. Right, so, reminder, artisan craft, it's masterwork, takes 6 of Sun Cyan, Blood Glass, Essensite. There might have been another one. I don't know. I'm lazy. I'm not going to go up and look. It could be cast, swift cast, only targeting yourself. You can't upcast it, as it were, to target more people. It doesn't cost any mana to do, and you can do it whilst wearing medium armor, but not heavy. Very important. And it can have painful effects depending on what happens. You can also use it in the City of Passage, returning you to either the Shard Circle Waystone or the Greater Concordian Waystone. Both are roughly situated at either side of the City of Passage. Bad things can happen to you when you do it. And you could do it, I believe it said once a day. Might have been twice a day. Hang on, that I actually will check. Yep, once a day. So it's an emergency button. It's an emergency eject button if things get bad. It's the nope key. You have a nope key. Right. Before you re-enter play, check with the storyteller at the Waystone to determine any additional effects. So yeah, when you bamf, go to the storyteller there at that portal or that Waystone and go, hey, any additional effects from using Pathfinder's Gambit? They'll tell you da-da-da-da-da. Pathfinder's Gambit has been added to the list of artisan crafts. There we go. Next one. Arcane Involvement. Shard Circle, Loronamere. Did I read this one? I felt like yeah, okay, I know what this is. As the arc line whirs within the Shard Circle, It draws the threads of ley lines from across the Concord together. This great arcane device calls forth power far beyond any one mage, and draws this power into Esterra. Mages who administer the strange device watch with careful awe and concern, for repairing the device again would be a dangerous featuring. Across Lornamere, ley lines flare beneath soil and stone of Madre Campo, and within the laboratories of citizen mages in Legend City. They pulse with renewed arcane fire, and their unknown power is energized with the shepherding of the Arcline, and the Shard's Circle crystal mana forms at an elaborate rate. In the Shard Circle. Yeah, and the Shard Circle. Crystal mana forms at an elaborate rate, and the circle of magic continues to flourish. The growth of mana is not without strange consequences, as the Arcline is wont to do. Mages who have been working closely with this empowered ley line report. Oh god. I'm going to say this typo here, or a misspelling, is meant to say strange fumes and a renewed sense of arcane vigor. It appears that crystal mana, that is not harvested quick enough, can burn off with each flare of the ley line, becoming a vapor, empowering personal mana of a personal mage. Some have indulged in this magical empowerment, whilst others have acted frugally and harvested the mana quickly. Game information. Thanks to the focus of the Arcline, or Arcline table specifically, the Lornamere ley lines will produce as if they were a tier higher this season. However, characters that have a ley line in the Lornamere may opt to instead increase their mana by 6. I forgot it was 6. Holy balls. Their mana by 6 and receive no additional... Oh, hang on. And receive no additional mana. I'm going to guess that means crystal mana, I would hope. So you make a choice. You send it in by emailing the Concord team at I'm going to guess it's Concord LARP. Oh no. By emailing your answer at the Concord team at concordplot@gmail.com. Next up, Raiders of Records Lost. Shard Circle. Okay, yeah, I know what this is. Pages upon pages of requests lie abandoned upon the grand entry hall of the Andashi School of Gifts. A request for an Iron Valley Farseer for research into the concept of time within teleportation. Inquiry from a Wheeled Sage about the common duration of curses. A demand from a mountebank for funding to break Archibald's concept of arcane war chants, all left to wallow in the wind. Wind through the spires, and occasionally to be used as fire starters on cold evenings. Oh. I forgot how brutal that wording was. Yush. You see, the Andashi School of Gifts is a functional school, a school of creation and design, not one of esoteric inquiry and flights of fantasy. Well, not often at least. But as the requests of research continue to flood into the School of Gifts, the leadership of the school have reached out to the Shard Circle to at least act as some sort of a filter so that they can continue their important work of creation. The civil service and the Shard Circle have done one better by accessing the misbegotten records within the Shard Circle and coordinating the library. Coordinating the library, the clans. Hang on. And the Shard Circle coordinating the library, the clans in the Andashi School of Gifts. Hang on. Coordinating the library in the Andashi School of Gifts. They have made some amount of theoretical research available to the Shard Circle, enabling it to stop bombarding the School of Gifts with requests into arcane esoterica. I feel attacked. I feel a little bit attacked by that, but it's fine. Game information. The Shard Circle has gained access to pursue research into magic theory beyond the methods of schools of magic. This process is still quite limited and will require expansion of the resources of the Shard Circle to grow. However, it will allow the Shard Circle to pursue esoteric investigation into into various aspects of magic mythos and mystery within the world. However, such options are limited, and research proposals are likely to be a cutthroat pursuit. It is recommended that mages interested in the progression of arcane learning begin to gather in groups and consider what topics of research are most appropriate and pertinent so that they will be better prepared for the summit. More information of this process will be made available at the summit. So yeah, that's fair. So now the Shard Circle itself will be able to do like research into stuff themselves, independent of a on their own, rather than purely only doing it through submitting to a School of Magic. Now, this is actually an interesting point. I wonder if that's still something that can be done, even if there is no School of Magic, active School of Magic. So, like if the School of Gifts were to fall, would that research option still be a thing in the mode that the Shard Circle would possess? I suppose we'll learn that at the summit. Okay, yeah. So apparently, this is going to like the having stuff happen in town. Apparently, yeah, they generally go for between 5 and 10, like NPCs coming into town per game. Yeah, I'm awesome to hear that. There's more than I think. I've still, again, I still generally only hear of like just the heralds. There really isn't anything else that I end up hearing of, unless it's like hyper specific, or like they're only there for like a couple minutes and they're just gone. I don't know. Yeah, it more than likely could also just be for very specific things. Like I imagine maybe some stuff with the Reeves Council, with the Iron Valley. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, it's cool that it happens. It's cool that more stuff is happening. I'm happy for that at the very minimum. Cool. I guess I just need to be there for it. That's cool. I'll deal with that later. All right. Next up, by decree of the spheres, the church, I guess just Concord as a whole. The business of the Church of the Divine Spheres of the Concord is as long as its name, ranging from decrees on morality, the logistics of a state religion, and its income, all the way down to advising lowly civilians and their quandaries. While there were a great many actions undertaken by the Church at the previous summit, some have had results over the course of the winter summit. Course of winter. while a great many more continue to work below perception. A decree by the church. Decree by the church. What? Oh, sorry. A decree by the church called priests of Lumos to the Greenfield to brave the dangers of this curse-infested forest and preach hope to the people there, fearful that continued malady and misfortune may irreversibly damage the morale of the Greenwielders. Many have taken up the church on this offering, lighting a candle of hope within the darkness beneath those cursed boughs. The church has compiled a change of doctrine after the Artabazani Church. They will seek out and name great heroes past, present, and future who have lived their lives in great alignment of the spheres. These heroes will be named as paragons of the spheres and upheld as models for all Concordians to live by. Notably, the Church has decreed that Artabazani paragons of ages past will not be recognized as Concordian paragons. Yeah, that makes sense. Deerling Citadel, the. Hang on. Deerling Citadel, the fortress protecting the Iron Valley from the west, has been declared a holy site of the spheres, not aligned to any single sphere. This holy site is marked as a gathering point for all of the Concord and spheres, a place for all to gather and defend and grow mighty. The fortress has begun to be marked by hundreds of small shrined tombs. Small shrines, to the spheres. Yep, glow shards of many different colors dot the face and towers of the citadel, creating a wall of twinkling light in the evening sunset. Actually, sounds really pleasant. That's cool. The church has decreed that the Golden Fleet of the Twin Blade Confederacy, in its new diplomatic circumstances, is worthy of the attention of the Concord priests. The call has gone out for Concordian congregations of adventurous bearing to seek out private captains and sail to Banathia, home port of the Golden Fleet, and spread revelations of Niccolo and the divine spheres. Truly an act of ambition and courage. Game information. As a result of church decisions, the previous summit, the following effects are taking place. Greenfield priests of Lumos are supported by both the church and priests from other realms. Any Greenfield characters with divine law Lumos will receive crystal mana this season, in addition to their investments income, to reflect this support. The dedication of Deerling's Citadel as a Concordian holy site has drawn attention from near and far. This mighty fortress, standing as a representation of the strength of the Concordian Church, cannot be allowed to fall. While Deerling's Citadel stands, congregations can take the other action. Defend Deerling's Citadel, where they will function as a military investment with a strength of 50. Huh. Cool. Concordian congregations are able to take the downtime action minister to the Twin Blade, in this coming season specifically. In order to do so, they will be required to list a naval investment that is taking the trade with foreign ports, Banathia action, as an investment. They are working with. Doing so will provide a random set of resources as if they had taken the trade with foreign ports Banathia action themselves, as well as supporting Concordian efforts to convert the Golden Fleet. Okay, that's actually really cool. Is that it? Am I done? Is that it? I just nailed it. Yep, that's it. Yep, streaming for 3.5 hours ish, and we're done. Oh, that was a big boy. Yep, and the music ended too. Look at that. I don't know. I'm just going to turn that back on. All right. Whew. All right. I got a lot better at reading that out. Kind of a little silted and so weird throughout the speaking, but hey, it's done. We're finished. Yeah, hopefully the stream hasn't gotten buggy or weird, and levels have remained good. I'm just going to check the power on my laptop again just to make sure. Yep, it's actually held. Cool. My slight adjustments to my power setup seem to have made all the difference. Awesome. Cool. I am really, really happy with how that went. I'm very satisfied. And I hope you are too. I hope this is something you listening have enjoyed. I hope my speaking and my sort of occasionally moving away from the mic a little bit and that hasn't been too distracting or too off-putting. As a reminder, there will be a group of 6 people from Memory at 6 that will be going through the Winds of the World themselves live on the Concord LARP Facebook group tomorrow evening, that being Monday, the 29th of August, from 7 p.m. If you are not able to be there live and check it out live, the video will be available for you to just watch at any time. So, you know, don't super worry about it. Please go and watch it if you can. If not, at least like the video or the video recording of the stream when it's done. Please support it. It's cool. I love that there's just 6 people to go and do it. I'm purely doing this as I have a lot of free time. I can just do this. I have time to just make a podcast like this. And so I will. But please go support that. Please support that. It's awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed the last one. They're much quicker. They're much more to the point than I have been. I've kind of been dawdling, but then again, that's kind of the point. This is just a much more chill time. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this has went. I don't feel like a bag of trash like I did last time. Ripped through the whole thing. Laptop hasn't died. Streams should still be good. Yeah, I hope this is something you've enjoyed, whether you're a new player or a veteran player. As a note, the next episode will likely be aimed towards new players and kind of people trying to kind of get into LARP, specifically Concord. It will likely not be a super long one. I hope, probably. I'm going to try and get someone in to join me for that one. If not, it will just be me, and you'll have to deal with my further ramblings. I will try to keep everything a little more enclosed. I'll try and make sure it's all a little bit more structured out and better for that specific purpose. But yeah, if this is something you like, beyond just checking it out, if you have a Twitch account, if you want to follow this channel, hit the button. You don't have to. I'm not stopping you. I'm not stopping you if you do it. I'm not asking you to. The option is there. If you do, you'll be able to turn on notifications for whenever I go live here as well. Beyond that, just commenting on the posts I make about the podcast and just saying I liked it or I didn't like it or there was, you could improve in X ways. Yeah, support is support. It doesn't matter how it is given, whether it's a like, a comment, suggestions of improvement, following the channel, turning up live, or even at a training or a summit. or whatever sanctioned event, and you just want to come up and say, "Hey, I like what you did. Good job." Whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, if you want to do it, it's up to you. Yeah, I just feel really satisfied. So, I believe I have covered all the things I need to cover in terms of bookkeepy thingos. Yeah, I'll try and see if I can get the next episode. If not for next week, then it'll be the week after. If my math is correct, yeah, my math is correct. That'll be coming into the final week, the last week you will have to submit your character. So if you're a new player, you haven't got your character submitted yet, and you don't really know what you want to do, hopefully I can get that in at a time where you can go, okay, cool, I have an idea more so now. Again, it's probably not going to cover mechanics too much, as a lot of the mechanics are very straightforward. There likely will be sort of a basic guide to some of them, just so you have a general idea of what they do. You can go and kind of read them and go through them yourself. But it'll be more so like picking a realm, what are archetypes, what does that mean, general things you can do, the different elements within Concord, the main bodies, that is, and just how a general summit tends to go. Very surface level stuff, because I fully believe, again, go through this stuff yourself. If you're confused or unsure, throw up a post on the Concord Facebook page, or if you've joined a realm, throw up a post on your realms page saying, "Hey, I'm not fully sure of things. Can someone help me? Can someone explain X?" Do that. Ask for help. People will help you. I promise. People will help you. Same thing for if you're looking at being a mage and you're already in the Shard Circle Facebook group. Asking about mage things. Just ask. Don't be afraid to ask. Always ask. Because only by asking can you learn. And having the courage to ask is great courage indeed. So, I am going to wrap things up there. I really do hope you have yourself a really good day. Whether it's day, night, dawn or dusk, either or. I really hope you're good. You had a good one. Have a good one. Make good decisions. Stay safe. Yeah. I got no good catchphrase for this one. Just gonna hit the button and leave. All right. Bye.